Hey people of the VC, it's Andy Cloudy Mulder. Hope you all had a fantastic holiday period break, Christmas or whatever the hell you celebrate. I celebrated Christmas and it was fab. I had a great time with my family and I'm off work until the 7th of January, so I've got lots of time to catch up on everything I've picked up over the last few months and not listened to. I've been a bit of a hoarder the last couple of months and it's something I said I wouldn't do, but I've bought a little bit too much, but now I'm going to kick back and enjoy what I've got, and I'm ready to share it with you guys. So, first up, only CD I'll show today. This is the debut album from Tantrum called Melt It Down. This is a band from Edinburgh, Scotland, my hometown, and it's a Kickstarter they did. I got the t-shirt and the CD for £20. Great traditional heavy metal 80s style, not a rip-off of any other band, but they take obviously some influences of many of my favourites like the Priest, Diamond Head, Maiden, all those good stuff, and came up with their own twist on it as well. So check out Tantrum online. And really enjoyed it. Only gripe is it came in one of these really thin cardboard sleeves. It kind of feels more like a promo than a full album. But I know they put it together themselves, produced it. They're not on the label, so I'll forgive them that. I hope they sell a ton of these and reissue in a jewel case, and I'll buy that as well as an upgrade just to support them. Christmas presents. I was lucky to get some records off my wife. What I tend to do is, because I buy records all the time anyway, when it comes to Christmas and birthdays and she asks me what I want, I tend to give her a list of items that I'm probably not going to buy myself because I either maybe have them on CD already, or it's a reissue, or something or other that I would rather spend my money on hearing new stuff. So I gave her a list of stuff and allowed her to pick what she wanted to get me. So it's a little bit of a surprise, even though I know what's on the list. First one up is Wolfmother's debut album. I think it's from 2005. It's a double album. The album itself is spread across 3 sides, and the 4th side has a bunch of bonus B-sides on it. I've loved Wolfmother for a long time. I was heavily into White Stripes. I heard the songs Apple Tree and Joker and the Thief, and I thought they were White Stripes songs at the time, but then found out they were Wolfmother, and I rarely listen to White Stripes these days, but I listen to Wolfmother a lot, and I have all their albums. So that's very cool. It's a gatefold, but I'm not going to open it up. So I've got too much to show today. Next up is another one, an album I am incredibly familiar with. This is one of my top 3 albums of all time. Never tired of it. Even Sweet Child of Mine, I could listen to that over and over. Never got tired of this album. This is the 30th anniversary remaster. It comes in this foil cover, and there's a redrawn image of the band cover on the inside. The album has now been spread across 3 sides. It explains on here that the original 2-sided version, of which I have a couple of copies of that already, it was just too long. I think one side's 27 minutes, one side's 30 something minutes, and they couldn't remaster it and fit it back on a single album, so it had to be spread across 3 sides because of the length, which is fine by me, because I probably don't play, I don't necessarily play the vinyl a lot. I do listen to the CD version that I've got ripped fairly often, even if at work or on the way to work, but I was very happy to get the remastered version. It does sound absolutely fantastic, and it also comes with a downloadable CD quality digital version, which I think all bands should do. That certainly the ones that offer downloads but then you get a crappy MP3, at least they've gone to the effort of remastering it and they want you to hear it on the digital version in all its glory as well. So looking forward to hearing that and replacing the standard CD copy that I have on my music player. So there we go. And last but not least, from my kids. I got Iron Maiden, The Book of Souls live chapter. I'll say from my kids. I bought this one. Had an alert out on a Camel website. Put an alert on this. I can't remember when. In fact, I do. It was about a year or so ago. This album has always retails for around £30, £27 to £30, and I'm not going to spend that much on an album as much as I wanted it, despite it being a triple album. About a year or so ago, it went down to about £16 on Amazon. I didn't jump to it, and a day or so later, it was back up to £30, and I kind of kicked myself. So I put the alert on and said, if it goes below £17, I'll pick it up again. Got an alert about 4 or 5 weeks ago. It had gone down to £12.90, and I couldn't get my credit card out quick enough to pick it up. And when I got it, I thought that would be great to open on Christmas Day. I've still not opened it or listened to it yet. It's probably a good couple of hours long at least, with the 6 sides to listen to. And with live albums, I like to listen to them from start to finish. I don't want to listen to sort of one side and then have to come back and listen to another record. So when I get a nice free evening to myself, I'll crack open a beer and I give that a spin. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's obviously from the Book of Souls tour. I saw them in Glasgow Hydro on that tour, but unfortunately there's not one of those tracks on the album. But Iron Maiden, they record every single show they play now, so they can always choose the best tracks from any show when they put their live albums together. Next up, I have a haul from Vinyl Villains. That's my local store. Went to before Christmas, and someone had clearly he clearly bought a collection, or somebody had A to Z ordered. They don't order them by genre in that shop, so you have to, when you dig, you're already on the hunt. And by the time I got through A, I'd already seen Among the Living and State of Euphoria from Anthrax, original 80s, so I knew there would be some good stuff coming up. I didn't pick up either of those, I have them already. And there was enough stuff that I couldn't justify buying stuff I already had. So, first one, now this was a blind buy, a complete blind buy, because I couldn't find any information on this band at all. This is Licks, and the album's Loose on You from 1988. I nearly put it back because I'd blown my budget, but I noticed it was recorded in Edinburgh, which is where I live now, so I thought I'd give it a go. It's so it's from '88. I guess they're classed as a hair metal band. There's very, very little information about these guys online, so I don't know anything about their history at all. But they sound more like an 83, 84 era Motley Crue style of hair metal. They don't sound like Motley Crue. It's just that kind of production on it. So yeah, really good stuff. Really, really impressed with that one. Really glad I decided not to put it back. Next up, an album that gets a lot of love that I'm not actually that familiar with. This is Tesla's Radio Controversy from 1989. I now know why everyone raves about this album. It is really, really good. Absolutely love it. This is on Geffen Records. I always thought it was it would be more sort of hair metal, but they're more on the, I guess, closer to Guns N' Roses than they are to Poison, without sounding like either. But absolutely superb condition. Very happy to have that. The remainder of this haul is all thrash. I didn't show this actually. So let me show this first. So this is Acid Reign and Obnoxious. Acid Reign being a UK thrash metal band around in the very late 80s. So this is on Under One Flag label. Under One Flag was a subsidiary of Music for Nations. They signed all their thrash acts to. This is 1990. There we go. Now, Acid Reign were a band that I kind of wrote off in the 80s, so I just thought they were a joke band. and I thought a lot of UK thrash metal just wasn't up to scratch, so I didn't really get into it. But this year I've been digging a little bit deeper and liking what I'm finding, and that's going to be helped by another present I got from my wife that I forgot to mention. That's this book, which is Contract in Blood, A History of UK Thrash. And if, like me, you didn't realise there was enough UK thrash bands to fill a book this size, then I'm going to enjoy reading this and discovering some bands that I've not heard of before. In fact, I'm surprised by how many I have heard of. Venom, Onslaught, yes, you know, there's Sabat, Zentrix, Acid Rain, Lawnmower Death, English Dogs, Virus, Warfare, Seventh Angel, Metal Duck. They're all in here, so looking forward to rediscovering some of these and discovering some new ones as well. So it's a great book. I do like my heavy metal reference reading. I'm a bit sad like that. But there we go. Next up, delighted. I jaw nearly hit the ground when I saw this in such perfect condition. It's just not the sort of shop that normally has metal of this quality. I normally find one or two things. This is an EP on Roadrunner Records from 1988. Inner sleeve has other albums from around the time also on the catalogue, and some great t-shirts and how to order them from on there. Yeah, I think it's probably the standard Roadrunner, standard classic Roadrunner label. I've not had a chance to re-sleeve any of these as yet. I'm going to get some time to do a big cleanup. I've just mentioned Warfare. Oh, behold, here's a Warfare album. This is A Conflict of Hatred. This is on the Neat Records label. Now this is an interesting one. It's a full-on thrash metal album in places, but I thought actually they put the wrong record in the sleeve when I first put it on, because it starts off with a saxophone intro and mingles the saxophone with all the guitars, and I am not a fan of saxophone at the best of times, but certainly not on a metal record. And it's weird. I mean, there are some good tracks on it, and if you look beyond the saxophone on it, it's a really good album, but it took some time to get into. The lyrics are all on the back, and the saxophonist Marty Craggs is on here, but it's kind of it's heavy hitting, brutal lyrics within there for Warfare, but great to have. Yeah, see a little bit different. Next up, now this was quite a find. This is for a couple of reasons. One, it's a Dark Angel album. It's my first Dark Angel album. Leave Scars from, I think this is 1989. Yeah, it's also my first record I think I've ever found in the wild on Combat, which is a US record label. Yeah, so this is with Rob Reinhardt on vocals and Gene Hoglan, who recently saw in Testament. Again, full on in your face thrash metal, killer stuff. Absolutely amazed to find something like this in my local store. As you came with this Combat Records catalogue as well. A little bit more Acid Rain. This time I found this in the singles section, a 10-inch Humanoia. It's all live tracks. No, the first one is Humanoia is a studio track, and then on the B side there's All I See, Goodness and Bully Boy Chaos on the flip side, recorded at the London Astoria in 1989. Again, this is on Under One Flag. Nothing fancy on the inside. And last one from that haul is this by Sabat. I think this is their 4th album. Again, I was incredibly surprised to see this in their absolutely fantastic condition. I don't know much about Sabat. I know there are some people on here who love them. I know Mike Metal Mickey is a big fan. But when I got home and read up about the albums, which I often do, I found out that this is the album that they all hate and wish they'd never done, and have pretty much washed their hands of. Sabat obviously has Andy Sneap, who's a big time record producer these days, on it. It just sounds quite disjointed. It made good background music when I had it on. I played it through 3 or 4 times just back to back, just to think, well, I don't really have a reference point of how good the other Sabat albums are. So, but even I could hear there's something not quite right with it. It's not bad. It just so the vocals, the rest of the music and the solos, they sound like they've all been recorded completely independent of each other, without knowledge of what either the vocals for the music sound like, or the solos what the music sounds like, and then it looks like they've been mixed together to produce the album. A little strange, but I certainly got it for a lot less than it's going for on Discogs. So if I decide it is something that wouldn't fit in my collection for whatever reason, I'll certainly quite easily get my money back on that in future. Excuse me. Other pickups. Let's have a look what else we've got. Now this is going to be, my videos now are going to be a mixture of new, old, reissues, singles, CDs, what have you. I'm not going to split out 80s and other collection anymore. I was just getting too much hassle managing what number. Was I on collection 42 of the 80s or 37 of the other one? And sometimes I was forgetting I had stuff to show because I didn't have enough albums to show for a particular 80s episode. And anyway, so it's all rock and metal updates from now on, although the 80s stuff will still be a large proportion of that. So next one I've got to show has actually got 2 copies of this, and that's the new album by Skullpit. Now, Skullpit is a collaboration of Mem von Steen from Exuma and Tatsu Mikami from Church of Misery. Obviously, Exuma are a thrash band, Church of Misery are a doom band from Japan. Mem von Steen is the vocalist, Tatsu is the bass player, but they got together to form this project, and this sounds like this sounds really, really good, by the way, but it's kind of speed metal. Motorhead meets Black Sabbath. The energy and aggression of Motorhead, coupled with the heavy riffs of say Black Sabbath, and it really, really works, along with Mem's voice, killer stuff. But the reason I've got 2 copies is this first copy, actually, I didn't think too much of it at the time, but it arrived in this Blake sleeve, and but it's got this big old crease down here. The vinyl's okay, but massive crease from top to bottom. Looks like it's been sat on. So I put a return on Amazon, and they said, send it back to us, we'll send you another copy. They sent me another copy. Now, I'm not normally that anal about covers. I can take the odd ding, but that one was too far gone. That had been folded. This one, however, arrived sealed with a hype sticker on, which made me think that they originally sent me a copy that had probably been sent back already, and they hadn't realised that someone had just put it in one of these sleeves because they'd opened it. So I was annoyed that they try and palm off a second-hand copy of an album for full price. And then when I got this one, this corner here is, you can see it bending already. It's a big crease on there. So I thought, no, I'm pissed off with that. I phoned Amazon up for customer service and just said, this is the second copy you've sent me, with a cover that's not in mint condition for full price. They apologised. They refunded me there and then and said, keep both albums. They're no good to us. So The vinyl in both cases are good. Both of them actually have inner sleeve splits. This one actually has a bit of a split in the bottom of the cover as well, and the top. So something's gone wrong with their distribution around there, certainly when they store these albums, but I'm not so bothered about pristine covers if I get a record for free, or two for free. So the one that's a little bit more bashed up, despite the album being perfect, I'll pass that on as VCLT probably sometime in the new year, if anyone might be interested in that. There's a picture of the two guys. They have a band behind them as well, guitarists and drums, also Japanese guys, and the lyrics as well. But it's really killer stuff. Check out Skullpit. I think you'll be impressed with it. We're about 20 minutes. I don't think I'm going to get through everything, so I'm probably going to go on for another 5-6 minutes, and then we'll stop there, and I'll do another video later on. Saturn Dust. This is kind of heavy, in your feel it in your gut, doom. Really, really good stuff. This was another one that was on my wish list at Amazon for a long, long time. So long that when I saw it come down to about £13, I went straight to jump on it. And I thought, hold on a second, I can't remember what this band sounds like. Gave another listen and thought, yeah, that'll be a good one for the collection. So this is Saturn Dust. It's from. Ooh, where's it from? Oh yeah, it's a nice sort of silver grey marble. Oh god, yeah, I remember this. So how are you supposed to know which is side A and B? Three tracks on both sides, so who knows? I don't know. It's good music anyway. And I can't remember the year. I think it's 2014. But you guys can look at it if you're interested. There we go. So Saturn Dust, bit of Doom. From modern Doom all the way back to 1980. This is Witchfind, Stage Fright. This is Witchfind's second album, one of the pioneers of new wave of British heavy metal. This is an eBay purchase. This is kind of more on the demon side, I'd say, of new wave British heavy metal than say Iron Maiden. Although there's some sort of the production sounds in it is a little bit, and one or two of the songs is a bit similar to that song Strange World on Iron Maiden, that kind of atmospheric, slowish guitar on there, but really, really good stuff. Very good example of early new wave of British heavy metal. I forgot to show this one in my live gig review. This is one I picked up at the Ram concert as well. This is Sudden Impact. It's the first EP that they released. This is the 10th anniversary edition. 3 tracks on it. I think it originally came out in 2003. So I think it's a gatefold as well on this version. On red vinyl. There we go. Yeah, sort of kind of pictures of the handwritten lyrics. So this has Sudden Impact, Judgment and Punishment, Machine Invaded, Killer Song, Blessed to be Cursed, Infuriator, and Black Path. And it also comes with this nice little book as well. Show a little bit of the history of Ram. Very, very nicely put together. Okay, where are we? 24 minutes. Another eBay. This was only £10, and this was a killer. So this is a new album. So this is from 2016. It's a high roller release. All the usual high roller stuff that you get in there with a catalogue and a poster and a 180 gram vinyl. Killer stuff, Savage Master. Traditional heavy metal, female fronted. Kind of sounds like Judas Priest meets Hellion. Great stuff. Good Whips and Chains. Michael Schenker Fest Resurrection. This is really cool, actually. I've really got into Michael Schenker this year. I don't know why he never really clicked before, or I never really went out of my way to listen to his stuff, but I've picked up quite a lot of his stuff this year, and some of his newer stuff is cool as well. His Temple of Rock project was really good, but this one is this one's killer. It's his band with all the various singers that he's had before: Robin McAuley, Graham Bonnet, Gary Barden, and Dougie White. And it's just an absolutely fantastic double album. Thoroughly recommend this if you are a Michael Schenker fan. Yeah, another eBay minimum buy. This only cost me a tenner, and for the condition it's in is superb. So this is an original pressing of Sin After Sin from Judas Priest. A record that needs no introduction. Yeah, originally what, from 1977. I was 6 when that came out, and I never even knew what music was at the time. There we go. I have very little 70s Priest on vinyl, so yeah, to pick that up for such a cheap price was great. We have here Nothing Exceeds Like Excess. Raven back to their best in 1988. This is on the Under One Flags label again, and this is after their disastrous attempt to conquer the US, and it's just Raven doing what Raven do best, playing really, really good heavy metal. Yeah, another eBay minimum bid. Although this is a little bit more beat up than I expected. It's quite creased, fair amount of edge wear. Record has a number of scuffs and scratches, which it plays fine. It's on Roadrunner, but I still got it for a cheaper price than anybody selling it on Discogs, and it's probably in better condition than some of those as well. But it was the British Heart Foundation that were actually selling it, so I felt a bit bad about going back and complaining too hard about the condition. It does play through okay. So this is a classic early American 80s heavy metal attacker, Battle at Helm's Deep, with one of the iconic covers of the time. It's classic metal that assaults the mind. I know that because it's written up here. But it's just really, really good stuff. 1985. Okay, on a Roadrunner. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, shall I keep going? It's Christmas. You guys probably haven't got much better to do. Formal to show. An album that I wasn't aware existed. Again, nice minimum bid. Picked it up. It's a live Magnum album. So this was released in 1989, but it's a recording of their 1982 tour where they were supporting Ozzy Osbourne, which is quite cool. So a lot of the tracks are the early Magnum tracks that are kind of like Kings of Madness, Soldier on the Line, All of My Life, Sacred Hour, Spirit. I love Magnum, and this is great. So it also comes with there's 2 discs. One of them is the live album. The other one is an interview disc, which is a really bad recording. I mean, the vinyl's mint, but the recording, it sounds like it's been done on a tape recorder in a pub, and yeah, it's kind of struggled to really understand what's going on. It sounds like it's also halfway through the interview that he started recording, so the context isn't necessarily there. I'm pretty sure it's the same interview on the A side and the B side, but yeah, happy to have that in my collection. I think I now have just about everything from Magnum between the first album and 1990, so expect a Magnum collection video at some point. Lastly, let's go through it quickly. This was a fun item to pick up. So this is a split. It's Lawnmower Death, Mower Liberation Front. Sorry, I can't see it on the glare. Mower Liberation Front with Metal Duck Quack-A-Mole on the back. So this is kind of your more light-hearted thrash, UK thrash metal. But there you go. That's the Metal Duck. No, is that that's the Lawnmower Death side, and that's the Metal Duck side. But it is fun, and it doesn't annoy me that it's fun anymore. Whereas, let's say one day it used to for no apparent reason. So there we go. Split, Lawnmower Death, Metal Duck. Far too hard for me. Oh, the album that I can't understand why it's eluded me for so long. It's talked about constantly on the VC by you metalheads. Sanctuary, Refuge Denied. Why is it taking me so long to listen to the album? This album is amazing. I absolutely love it. I thought people were probably talking it up a little bit too much, but I found a decent copy at a decent price on eBay, pulled the trigger, and I am so glad I did. I bought this the week before I went to see Ram, and I struggle to describe what Ram sounds like to some people, because the thing I liked about Ram is they just didn't sound like other traditional metal bands around there. But to me, it sounds like they were heavily influenced by the likes of Sanctuary, certainly the vocal style. But I have played this, I've ripped it to my music player, and I can't get enough of it. Absolutely superb album in really, really good condition, and I got it for a great price. So there we go, and we'll stop it there. Over 32 minutes. Thank you if you're still with me. Let me know what you think about these in the comments below. Again, hope you all have had a great Christmas, and have a great New Year if I don't do another video between now and then. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.